you have one number that changes everything. Let's figure out exactly what it is. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics' most recent Consumer Expenditure Survey, the average American household spends $6,545 every single month. That is $78,530 a year going out the door, on housing, food, transportation, healthcare, and everything in between. Now here is the question most people never actually sit down and answer. How much money would you need, sitting in an investment portfolio, to replace that income permanently, without ever working again? That question has a precise mathematical answer, and once you know it, you stop guessing and start moving. The formula at the center of this is simple enough to write on a napkin, but powerful enough to restructure your entire financial life. Take your monthly expenses and multiply by 300. That is your number. That is your escape velocity figure, the portfolio size at which your money, historically, has generated enough annual return to sustain your lifestyle indefinitely, without you ever needing a paycheck again. For the average American household spending $6,545 a month, that number comes out to roughly $1,963,000. For a leaner household spending $4,000 a month, it is $1.2 million. For someone spending $8,000 a month, it is $2.4 million. The 300 multiplier is not arbitrary. It comes directly from the most studied framework in retirement and financial independence research, the 4% rule, developed by financial planner Bill Bengen in 1994. Bengen analyzed historical market data going back to 1926 and concluded that a retiree could safely withdraw 4% of their portfolio annually, adjusted for inflation each year, and have a very high statistical probability of their money lasting 30 years or longer without running low. When you flip that math, 1 divided by 4%, you get 25. Multiply 25 by your annual expenses, or equivalently 300 by your monthly expenses, and you have the portfolio size that, historically, sustains your lifestyle in perpetuity. That is the origin of the escape velocity formula. Your monthly burn rate is the gravity you have to overcome. 300 times that number is how much thrust you need to get off the ground and stay there. Now, Bengen himself has continued updating his research. As of late 2025, he has revised his estimate upward to a 4.7% safe withdrawal rate when a portfolio includes small-cap stocks, international exposure, and real estate investment trusts, which would reduce your target multiplier closer to 213 times your monthly expenses. Meanwhile, Morningstar's 2025 State of Retirement Income Report, which uses forward-looking return forecasts rather than purely historical data, recommends a baseline starting withdrawal rate of 3.9%, up from 3.7% the year before. What this tells you is that the 300 multiplier is a conservative, well-defended benchmark, and depending on your asset allocation and flexibility, the actual number you need could be meaningfully lower. The research gives you a range, not a ceiling. But starting with the conservative figure means you are building in a margin of safety. And in long-term financial planning, that margin is everything. Here is the thing most people skip when they hear these numbers. They assume this target is for other people with inheritances or tech salaries or some lucky break they never got. That assumption is precisely what keeps you working for someone else longer than you have to. Warren Buffett addressed this in his 2013 letter to Berkshire Hathaway shareholders when he laid out his instructions for his wife's inheritance. And his answer was not a hedge fund, not a private equity portfolio, not some complex structure accessible only to the ultra-wealthy. He wrote that 90% of the cash should go into a very low-cost Standard & Poor's 500 index fund. His reasoning was direct. The S&P 500 has historically delivered a compound annual return of around 10% since its inception in 1957, and most professional fund managers, despite their research staff and computing power, fail to beat it consistently. Fewer than 15% of large-cap fund managers outperformed the index over the last decade. If professionals with every advantage cannot reliably beat the market, active stock picking is not your path to escape velocity. Patient, consistent, low-cost index investing is. Let's get specific, because this is where the math becomes motivating rather than abstract. If your escape velocity number is $1.5 million and you are starting from zero at 30 years old, contributing $900 per month into a Standard & Poor's 500 index fund at the historical average annual return of 10%, you would reach that target in roughly 32 years, meaning financial independence by your early 60s. Push that contribution to $1,500 a month and the timeline shortens to around 26 years. These are not guarantees. Historical returns do not predict future results, but they illustrate a principle that is as close to a reliable wealth-building system as everyday investors have access to. The math works because of compounding, which Einstein reportedly called the eighth wonder of the world, though what matters more than the quote is the mechanism. Your investment returns generate their own returns, and over 2 or 3 decades, that acceleration becomes dramatic. This is also where most people make their first critical mistake. They set a vague intention, save more, invest more, without ever calculating the specific number they are actually working toward. Research in behavioral economics consistently shows that vague goals produce vague progress. When you have a precise target, say $1,800,000, your financial decisions start to operate differently. Every time you consider a spending upgrade, you can frame it in terms of how much it shifts your escape velocity number. Adding $500 to your monthly expenses does not just feel like a lifestyle choice. It increases your target portfolio by $150,000. And every time you reduce monthly expenses by $500, you lower your target by that same $150,000. That is a concrete way to think about trade-offs that most people never develop. The second mistake is conflating your current monthly expenses with your actual financial independence number. Your escape velocity figure should reflect what you genuinely need to live the life you want post-work, not what you are spending right now because rent is high or your car payment runs long. A lot of people overbuild their target because they are anchored to current spending patterns that would naturally change once the 9-to-5 is gone. Commuting costs go away, work clothes go away. Many people find their actual lifestyle cost drops 15 to 20% when they are no longer maintaining the infrastructure of employment. Running 2 versions of the calculation, your current expenses times 300 and your lean realistic expenses times 300, gives you a target range rather than a single fixed number. The lower end of that range might arrive sooner than you think. The third mistake, and arguably the most expensive, is not accounting for income sources that reduce the portfolio size you actually need. Social Security, for most Americans, will replace some portion of expenses. If you expect $2,000 a month from Social Security at 67, that is $2,000 per month you do not need your investment portfolio to cover, which means your escape velocity figure drops by $600,000. A rental property generating $1,500 a month in net income reduces your required portfolio by $450,000. Part-time consulting, a small online business, a side income of any kind, all of these reduce the portfolio burden the 300 multiplier places on you. The formula answers the question of what you need if your portfolio is your only source of income. But most people retiring from a traditional career are not in that position. Map every income stream you realistically expect, subtract it from your monthly target, and multiply the remainder by 300. That is your true number. Here is the most actionable part of this entire calculation, and it lands here, because most financial content tells you to save more without telling you where to focus the most energy. Research consistently shows that the variable with the most leverage on your escape velocity timeline is not your investment return. It is your savings rate. Vanguard analysis and independent financial independence modeling both confirm that going from a 10% savings rate to a 25% savings rate can cut your working years by more than a decade, even assuming identical investment returns. This matters more than trying to squeeze extra performance out of your portfolio. The math of compounding rewards the investor who puts in more capital early far more than it rewards the investor who earns an extra 1 or 2% annually. If you have a 401k with an employer match and you are not contributing enough to capture the full match, you are leaving the highest return, lowest risk money on the table that exists in the American financial system. A 50% match on contributions up to 6% of salary is an immediate, guaranteed 50% return on those dollars. That is your first priority before any other investment decision. The framework also clarifies something about the psychological side of financial independence that tends to get obscured by the noise. Escape velocity is not a personality type. It is not reserved for the extreme frugalists or the six-figure earners. It is a number, your number, calculated from your actual life and your actual spending. Once you know it, you can measure your progress toward it in dollars and years, rather than in vague feelings of being ahead or behind. That shift from abstract to concrete is, in many ways, the most powerful thing the formula provides. You are not hoping for retirement. You are building toward a specific target that has a specific timeline. That kind of clarity is what we build every week at NextGen Finance. Real math, real strategies, and the research-backed frameworks that help regular Americans take control of their financial future. If that is the kind of content you want more of, subscribing means every new video shows up directly in your feed, and you will not miss the calculations that could save or make you years of financial freedom. So here's your comment prompt. What is your current estimated escape velocity number, and how far are you from it? You do not have to share the exact figures, but drop a rough sense of where you are in the comments below. I read every single one, and knowing where people are in this journey helps shape what we cover next. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial or investment advice. Please do your own research and consult a licensed financial professional before making any financial decisions.